Good afternoon and welcome to the University of Miami Global Academy's live stream session. My name is Teresa Salafrio and I'm the principal of the University of Miami Global Academy. And today we are continuing our discussion of the month, November being Career Development Month. Last week we had a session relating to careers. We had someone join us from the University of Miami Topples Career Center. And this week we're going to be focusing on careers in music because we know that some of our students are interested in the music field. So let me go ahead and introduce our guests joining us today. We have Ms. Cara Truccio, who is our academic coach at UMGA. And we also have joining us Ms. Karen Kerr, who is the University of Miami's Director of Admissions at the Frost School of Music. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And I see music as an interesting field because I think there's so many opportunities, or a great variety of opportunities for students when they graduate from college, different things, areas that they can go into. And I know, kind of looking through the university's website, the Frost School of Music, again, that kind of really verified that there are a lot of options for students who major in music. And so, Ms. Truccio, I'll kind of turn it over to you to ask some questions.
Okay, thank you. Starting off, what are the newest careers in the music field?
A lot of the newest areas that are emerging center mostly around the areas of technology and things in the area of arts management. So those two, and in technology, it's constantly evolving. So I'm using that term kind of broadly, but there are a lot of different areas you can go into. A lot of people don't realize that performance isn't the only thing you can do with music.
Yeah, exactly. So students who have more than one interest, who are trying to select a major, what are your recommendations for students like that?
Well, there are a couple of options. First of all, they should take time to look over the curriculum guides that are available for each program that we offer and study those. Look at the types of classes they would be taking. A lot of our programs have commonalities in what I like to think of as core music classes that everybody takes, but then there are the more specialized courses. And they could also talk to somebody in the field or a faculty member in that program or someone like myself. But then there are options where they could do more than one program. I mean, there are always options to do a double major or a program with a minor built in, something like that. But they should also always remember that they're not locked in to one thing once they start. There's always the possibility of changing.
Yes, I know that very well. You mentioned specializations. What are some specialty strands of the music field that are less mainstream that a lot of people may not know about?
We're kind of known for offering a broad range of programs, and some of that is because we offer programs that aren't commonly offered at schools of music. And those, again, they tend to focus in the area of technology. Because that's a new and emerging field. The area of music business and music therapy, I think, are probably the three most that aren't offered at different universities. Music therapy, we're one of the few schools in the country that has an undergraduate program. Most of the programs you'll find across the country that focus in that area are graduate level programs. So that's one area. We offer music business and industry and music engineering technology, which are probably the three, again, most uncommon programs.
And are they somewhat popular?
They are very popular, yeah. And mainly that's a lot because people do know that we're a very broad-based school. We're one of the most diverse schools of music in the country. So students that come to Miami for the Frost School of Music already kind of know that and are expecting to get that broad range of experience.
Let me ask you about the therapy, the music therapy. You mentioned that we are one of the few schools that offers a bachelor's in that program. So when students complete their bachelor in music therapy, do they then need, I'm assuming, do they need to go on to get a master's in order to be able to really realize that, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, they can go out and start working immediately in the field in hospitals, nursing homes, rehabilitation centers, even private practices, using music therapy to help patients with disabilities or victims of accidents or what have you. So there is, of course, graduate level study available in that area if you want to continue on, but you can start working immediately after your bachelor's degree.
Great.
Good to know. With new jobs always emerging and jobs constantly changing, what are some things that students should keep in mind when selecting a major?
Well, I know a lot of people in the music field are very concerned, especially parents, about what am I going to do when I graduate. So that's a great question. I think ultimately, though, it comes down to what the person really feels in their heart that they want to do. Even if you go for a performance major, there's still going to be other things you can do with it. There are lots of opportunities to work in administration, those types of things too. So really, I encourage people to follow their interest. But keep in mind too that even a lot of students go for maybe a performance degree at the undergraduate level, and then they'll branch out or specialize at the graduate level into a more a field where they can be more specialized. So I mean, ultimately, again, I encourage people to go with their heart and what they feel, but I know that job concerns are very important, but that's why as a school and as the administration at the Frost School would say that we're glad we offer all these different opportunities.
And I would imagine that by a student maybe focusing on a performance major at the undergrad level, and then, like you said, something a little more specialized at the master's level, that gives them even a wider variety of options.
Yes, exactly.
Ultimately, after they complete that graduate degree.
Right. And for music students, a lot of them realize that graduate level study is going to be a necessary component of their education. So, and performance is a good field to start out in because it's well-rounded, and you can explore a lot of different things then at the undergraduate level.
Earlier we mentioned choosing a major and a minor within at the School of Music. Should they branch out into other areas, like if they chose a psychology, an undergraduate degree in psychology or something completely unrelated, how would they go about doing their master's in music or vice versa?
Yeah. Well, first let me mention that a lot of our programs have a built-in minor. For example, the music therapy program has a built-in minor in psychology. So music business, you get a business minor. So there are those types of things already going on. For some students, though, they want to add a second minor or explore a different area, that's possible too. So almost anything, you can do almost any combination, and double majors too. So that's always an option. A lot of times, if you have a well-rounded undergraduate program, even if it's in music, which is a very focused program in itself, but you can go on to grad school in other areas if you have a minor completed in that area.
Can you talk a little bit more about the business music, what that entails, and what a student then ultimately goes out and does with that?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a really popular one. It's called Music Business and Entertainment Industries. And it's still a Bachelor of Music degree, so it's still considered a professional music program. Okay. So they still take all the core curriculum classes in music, but then they specialize in areas like copyright law, artist representation, working within the industry at record labels, those types of things. A lot of students that are interested in that area are going on to work at record labels.
Right.
In the industry, but a lot of them are also interested in going on, I think this is really great. They're interested in going on to be an entertainment lawyer. So they're going to go on to law school and pursue that side of law. And because that is such a popular option, the Frost School now offers at the graduate level a joint program with the law school here at UM, a Master's of Music in Music Business and a JD. and the joint program can be completed in 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's a really neat option.
Wow.
Wow. That is very
Can
interesting.
I go back and do that?
Yeah, actually,
Wow.
the program at the master's level, you don't need to have an undergraduate degree in music per se. You need some music background, but so that's open to a lot of different people.
Wow. And is that becoming more popular?
This is only the second year we've
Okay.
offered it, and it took right off. It's a very
Really?
popular option. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Interesting.
can imagine. I feel like just working with entertainers or anyone who's famous is it's an appeal
Right.
to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you have any other questions, Ms. Tricia?
No, you've sparked my interest.
I have one more question, kind of taking a step back from we've been talking about careers. What do students need to do, whether at the University of Miami, looking at admissions into an undergrad program, or even, I know that programs vary, from college to college,
Right.
but what
I'm
is the
glad you
typical?
asked that, actually. The admissions process for schools of music is often much more involved than just applying to a liberal arts school. So, because there's an audition involved typically, and maybe a portfolio, depending on which area they're going into. So, for Miami and a lot of other of the major music schools that are associated with universities, it's a two-step process where they apply to both the university and to the School of Music. So 2 applications, and then auditions are scheduled. Some schools, depending on what area they're in, might also require pre-screening, which is like the first step in the audition process. We require that in 2 areas, both jazz and contemporary applicants submit a pre-screening first, and then they're invited to audition. So then the audition process takes place. If they're applying to, for example, let's say a composition program, then there would be a supplemental portfolio of their compositions that would be required. The music engineering and technology program requires a portfolio. So there are additional steps they might
Right,
need to take
right.
along the way. And then typically in March of their senior year, they'll find out their decision after they've gone through this whole 5 or 6 month long process of auditioning for us and everything. And for us, that's a joint decision between both our Office of Admissions and the university's Office of Admissions.
And so is it possible that a student would be accepted into the university but not into Frost? Or, like you said, it's more of a joint decision?
It's really a joint decision, so that shouldn't really happen because
Right.
we both sit at a table together, both offices are represented, and we talk it out.
Okay.
In rare instances, if for some reason we can't offer admission to the School of Music and the university is interested in the student because they're a strong academic quality, the university will offer them an opportunity to change their major to something outside the School of Music. That happens in maybe just a handful of cases
Right.
per year.
Right. Okay. Great. Good to know. Excellent. Okay. Any chat room questions?
Yes, we actually have 2 chat room questions. The first is from Christopher, and he asked, how common is it for music students at the University of Miami to start their own production companies after graduation?
Good question. I don't know that I can say specifically how common it is, but I know we have students who are interested in going into that field, and they certainly go out and work in the industry, in recording studios, in the technology area, and I'm sure there are students that have opened their own production companies and studios, and so that's what the training can ultimately lead to.
And the second question is it easy to switch majors from performance to music therapy, for example?
Yes, that would be very easy. It just, as long as you're doing well academically and meeting all your requirements, it would just involve the signature of the music therapy faculty approving it.
Great. Well, that's it for now.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all of our questions today, so thank you so much. We appreciate all
Thank
of
you so
your
much.
insight into the field.
Actually, we just got one more.
One more question.
What are the audition requirements for the music business program?
Well, it varies by instrument. Each instrument has its own set of requirements as determined by the faculty. So I don't know them all off the top of my head. So the best thing to do is go to our website, find your particular instrument and whichever area you focus in. If you're a classical pianist, for example, you'll find all those requirements on the website, and they're very specific. And of course, if you have any questions at any time, you can always contact my office.
And what's the website?
www.music.miami.edu.
Okay. That's all of the questions? Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you once again. We appreciate it. And stay tuned for another session, another live stream session, probably in the month of December. Thank you so much for joining us.